Hey, I'm James McDougall.
I'm Lexi Grabowski.
I'm Briar Knowles.
My name is Jessica Malka.
I'm Christy Murdoch.
It's Alaska Lee.
I am Natasha Prasad.
I'm Megan Hemingway.
I'm Leanne Johnson.
My name is Snezhana Bykova.
I'm Kate Schroeder.
My name is Natasha Hurlbert.
My name is Rachel.
My name is Deborah Lee Smith.
I'm Rebecca Amzalag.
And I'm an actress and producer.
I'm an actress based in New York City.
Writer, actress.
I'm an actor.
Actor and filmmaker.
I'm an actress based in Los Angeles.
And I'm an actor, singer-songwriter.
I'm an actress.
I'm a model actress based out of Calgary, Alberta.
I'm an actor and a musician.
I am an actress based in Toronto, and I want to thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
And thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for tuning in to the Chat with Dan show.
Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. For today, we have on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the epic Snezhana. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, what better way to have an epic evening? But also, what better way to start up a badass weekend than to be chatting with someone as badass? You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thanks.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, before we start, I do want to thank those who are watching this. Thank you so much. If this is your first, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this conversation. And without further more, let's jump in for the interview. So for those who don't know who is incredible, amazing, badass, superstar, Snezhana, please tell us who you are.
So I'm an actress. I live in Vancouver, and I've been acting since 2019 now. Originally, I'm from Russia. I was born in Ukraine, raised in Russia, and then I left my country when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
I lived in Europe for a little bit, in Malta and France, and then I came to Canada in 2015 in September. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's amazing. And tell me, like, where this journey through acting, again, where this journey through acting started, like, where the passion began.
Where the passion began? Well, I came to Vancouver for university. I went to University of British Columbia, and originally I was not thinking of acting at all. When I was a kid, I would tell people, "Oh, I'm gonna be an actress." I was 4 years old or something. And honestly, I think they believed me because I was super active and I loved talking to people. I liked doing parodies and stuff like that. But then over time, I think it's also maybe some parental pressure, some societal pressure, In my culture, acting, it's not something that will bring you money. So when I came to Canada and I went to university, the only option I saw is I have to go to a business school, right? And I was happy. I was accepted to one of the best business schools in Canada,
Wow.
But after a year, I realized, I hate it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm it does not make me happy at all. In fact, I was very stressed. And for one of my classes, I was writing this blog, and I was thinking okay, I have to make it interesting. So I wrote a blog about filming locations in Vancouver because someone told me it was a very big film hub.
Yeah.
And I was like, why not? And that's how I discovered Vancouver Film School. And I decided to give it a shot. I didn't tell anyone. I applied with all the material I had. I did a monologue. I recorded myself, and then I got an interview. I didn't tell my mom or my sister anything about it.
Yeah.
And then I had a very successful interview. And after my interview, I called my mom. I was like, "So here is what's happening," you know. And I think she was very happy for me because she's also a very artistic person,
Okay.
and it runs in the family. I think 'cause she used to work in the theater, and she used to be a professional dancer.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, she really supported me, which meant the world to me, and yeah, and that's how it kind of began.
That's incredible. There you go. Wow. I mean, it's difficult, right? Whenever you want to start doing something different,
Mhm.
either with music, yeah, like in arts in general, or even with sports as well, that you want to like choose those type of careers. It tends to be complicated when you want to talk about with your parents about that, right?
Yes, yes, it was definitely. I remember when I was talking to her, I knew she would. I didn't actually know. I didn't know what she would say,
Yeah.
but on some level, I knew she would support me. Because also, I left Russia when I was 14, and I knew like if she didn't trust me, she wouldn't let me go, right? So she trusted me, and she knew that I knew what I was
Yeah.
doing, right?
Yeah. Of course.
And then after some challenges started happening
Yeah.
because I'm an international actress, but we're gonna talk about it later.
Absolutely. Now, quick question before we continue. So you moved by yourself at 14?
Yes, yes. I lived in boarding schools, so it wasn't
Wow.
like like I was living somewhere by myself.
Yeah, of
But
course, of course.
but yeah, um, basically like without without my mom or my parents. Yeah.
Okay, let me just tell you that that is like badass level 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, boom. No, you know what? No, badass level 5. I mean, that takes courage for you to do that. So that's incredible. I admire that. Now, focusing a little bit on your acting career,
Mm.
tell me what were some of the challenges that you had when you were, recently making those, yeah, like those first steps, let's say.
Yes. So I think the biggest challenge was, well, first of all, I was, at two universities at once.
Yeah.
I still had to finish UBC, but I took a different program, and I was at VFS too, Vancouver Film School. So that was like a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
Um, Another challenge was that Vancouver School, it just brought it just opened me up so much. It brought so many feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me really like dig into myself and like find, you know, talk about things would prefer not to talk about. And it was sort of like it was therapeutic, but
Yeah.
the whole school was like a therapy session. That after that you kind of have this PTSD. Every time I see my film school building, I'm like, oh my god, PTSD. But I'm very grateful for that because it is a huge challenge. On a day to day, on a daily basis. We go about and not even thinking, like important things.
Mm.
We're just like in our heads. We go to work, we have like office jobs, and we're not listening to ourselves, we're not
Yeah.
listening to our feelings, we're not very connected to who we actually are. We ignore our gut feelings, which is like also the most important thing in the acting business, especially when you audition. You have to really trust that primal instinct in you.
Mm.
um so that, because of film school and acting, I became definitely more open to my feelings, open to people more. Because before I was even more like introverted. Now
Mhm.
I'm more extroverted. So that's
Yeah.
that's like a thing.
That's amazing. I love it. And yeah, now going more into your acting career, tell me like how you prepare a character. Now, of course, that I understand that depends on the role, right? But yeah, like what is your usual approach? Let's say when you are about to start this whole character creation process.
Yeah, it's interesting because um one of the writers and like executive producers, Shonda Rhimes, she said
Yeah,
it's she wants to see an actress or an actor to bring to kind of like bring character, make character alive,
yeah,
make it like three-dimensional and make it your own. So like for me, I think the process is, well, first of all, if I have a scene, for example, like from a play, I would read a play, I would read a whole thing maybe like a few times. And then I would really look at the journey of the character, right?
yeah,
And like just imagine the life journey, you know, like ever since when they were like, if it's an adult, I would imagine like what would they be like as a teenager, what's the relationship like with the other characters, um what you know what is actually happening in the scene, like all those things, like given circumstances, and really, one of my teachers, I just had a class with her, and she likes to say that every character lives
mhm,
in us,
that's true.
because we can be anyone, really, right? We
Yeah,
choose to be who we are because of the way we're raised, but really we can be anyone, right? And like to allow that character to come out, it takes a lot of work. You have to give yourself permission to be open, and not judge your character. For example, if it's like a serial killer or something,
oh yeah,
because
yeah,
there is always, if like Joker, for example, right? Like there is so much to that character, and you can't judge the outcome without knowing where the beginning is, like why that character became who they became,
yeah,
um so it's a very, like, a deep psychological process, really. um that's why I liked, and in school I took a lot of psychology classes, and I feel like it's helping acting too, for sure, 100%. But I work, every actor has to work on, their instrument, which is like our body, our breath, our voice, and to prepare a character, you have to, your body has to be ready for it,
yeah.
right?
Of course, of course.
I just actually had to do a very complicated character from a play called
Okay.
The Penetration play, and I had to play a lesbian character, and which I'm not, and that was very, very difficult because I was also doing a scene with one of my closest friends from the acting class,
Yeah,
and I just honestly, I just couldn't know how to approach that character, and my teacher, obviously, he like really helped me to dig in deeper and maybe bring and personalize it for myself, like not necessarily in like directly and or literally, but bring some things from my personal life
mm,
to that character,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a journey. I have discovered
yeah.
that with other actors that I've interviewed, that it's basically a journey, and it's interesting also because everyone has their own thing. That like there is no specific manual about how to
Yeah.
prepare a character. Like everyone has like their own thing. I remember one once told me that what she does is that she will jump into the train and just sit there, and then eventually the character she's gonna play, eventually that character comes. You know,
Yeah.
Because as you mentioned, yeah, like everyone is like, yeah, I do think that too, that everyone is a character, everyone has their own thing, their own way of thinking, speak everything, and at the end it's a character. So I find that amazing, like how someone can play somebody else that is totally unrelated, totally opposite, but you manage to kind of put that essence of the character to yourself, and basically your body will be the instrument from that character to tell her story on the skate.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things is really, you have to make it truthful. This industry, it's a lie. Because I mean, really, you get sides, and you have to really tell the truth from a lie. So you have to, for me, it's like making it personal. That's how I tell the truth, and that's how I convey a message, to my audience. Yeah.
And like, has it ever happened to you that do you bring your characters home, and has that affected you in a negative way somehow?
For sure, like it does take a strip out of you, especially if you're doing very complicated characters, and because you know it brings out emotions that as I said before, you might like avoid on a daily basis, right? You so it but also from that you grow as a person. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so now I know that I can go even further, like how far I can go, and then how long it's going to take me to actually recover from it. But it's like a different topic. I meditate a lot, so sometimes for example, costumes is like a big thing for me when I study character, right? But so I put a costume that my character would wear, and then when I come home, I just it's like a very symbolic thing, but
Yeah.
I take it off and I don't wear that clothes for like weeks, so yeah, that like small things like that. Meditation helps a lot to clear your mind, to
Yeah.
be at ease in your mind and your body. Yeah.
And would you ever, like, yeah, like, is there any role that you would refuse to play because perhaps the message is not? Yeah, like my point here is that is it like any character that you would refuse to play?
Is there any character? Um, that's an interesting question. Well, so far I haven't refused because any characters. I think every character is a challenge. Every character is very interesting to me to explore.
Yep.
And so for example, I just last summer I was on a TV show. It just came out. It's called The Power.
That's cool.
On Amazon Prime, and I had to play a girl who lived in a brothel. She was made into a prostitute, so
Yeah.
I had a very specific kind of clothes on set, and it was a very interesting character, because she was trafficked when she was 14 years old, and in the scene I was almost 30, so you can imagine the journey of that character. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Truly, every character is unique in itself. So.
Yeah, and like how you manage to stay on character. I mean, for example, you were on the set, or yeah, like you're on the set, you're about to go, or perhaps you're on theater, you're about to go now. Like how you prepare, like how you set the character to be like, okay, I'm good to go now.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what I do before I go on stage, obviously a lot of work is already done.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work I have to trust my body. I have to trust that I've done a lot of work on this character. I have to trust that, you know, it's just there for me and it supports me and I support it. And then the main thing when I'm about to go on stage, I just say, let it go. You know, let it be this time. Let it go. And sorry, I would swear, but it's like,
Yeah, go
F
for it.
you know,
Yeah,
it's just like, it's like,
You can swear.
fuck it. Whatever happens, right? Yeah. And that's when you say that, you can say it with confidence only if you did a lot of, you know, prep on your character. And the most important thing, like to get rid of the nerves for me, it's I have to feel my feet on the ground and connect to my breath and just, you know, breathe in and out. I was in this, I was doing a play in December, and I think maybe because I was like I worked a lot on the character and I was really connected to myself. I was not nervous on stage. And also I wasn't drinking coffee at that time. So I was like, maybe that helped too. But I was not nervous. And I told my director and she's like, well, that's good. I'm like, that's weird. Like for me, it's weird, you know? Yeah. But I had a blast. It was really great.
That's amazing. And tell me, along your acting career, what has been some of the funniest auditions you ever had?
You know, I had, and I don't know if it's my look, my long hair or something. I auditioned for Neanderthal.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a project. It's filming right now in Vancouver. I mean, by a very famous director, Andrew Stanton. He's like the writer of all Disney movies, almost all of them. So I had to audition for this Neanderthal, and it was very interesting, you know, because it was so primal, and my teacher was like, "How we're gonna approach this character from like a modern, like looking at it from a modern point of view, because the character, the instincts were like." She was healing her husband. So my teacher was like, do you think she's like a nurse? But at that time, you know, before like Homo sapiens, you know, so that was that was kind of very interesting. And then another really fun audition I just had recently, it was for I was playing a witch. And again, I don't know if it's my long hair, you know, but that was intense. So that scene, it takes place in like 17th century. So basically it was the time of like witch trials, and you know, when the church and all the priests and everyone thought that pretty girls are witches, or like if they're doing something with like herbs and healing someone, it's like it's unnatural because God's supposed to help you. Yeah. So the character was, at first, she was helping villagers, you know, providing them with some healing, I don't know, mixtures or whatever, you know, like healing herbs. And the other part was when the church comes in and they're trying to get rid of her, you know, and this priest, he like rapes her, and that's when she becomes really mad. That's when she turns into like an actual badass witch, which is really, really fun to play. Yeah. She's like, oh, so you didn't want me to be good. I was trying to be good. You know, if you want me to be bad, I'll be. You know, that's what it is. Yeah, very
that's incredible. I love that. I love that. You just step up to badass level 7. I love it. Now, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now, here's the thing. I don't know anything about acting. So based on what you know, what do you think would be important for me to, to kind of realize, to kind of have a heads up before jumping into this career?
Oof. When I decided to do it, I had no obstacles in my brain. I didn't know, and I think that's the best way, honestly, because sometimes I'm not, I don't want to say anything bad about like schools or teachers or anything like that, but it kind of brings you back to reality. And when I started Vancouver Film School, the reality, but by the end of it, I was like, okay, so this industry is fucked up. it's super competitive. I mean, that was kind of obvious to me at the beginning. What wasn't obvious is that I'm an international student, and what wasn't obvious was that I can't get an agent right away because I don't have my like PR or my work permit, my full work permit. I didn't have at that time. I had my study work permit. So no agent kind of wants to take you because you can only work 20 hours a week really on a study permit. The other thing was the accent. Unfortunately, and that's what I really wish for this industry, is, to bring the authentic accents to this industry, right? Because they want the diversity. They want, people from different countries, different nationalities, but they want a standard American accent. And to me, that's kind of ridiculous because accent and languages are the biggest part of any culture, right? So just like I really wish for this industry to be different in that way. So those things. Also, it's that it takes toll on you because it's an industry of rejections, and I don't want to discourage anyone, but it is true. You have to kind of get used to the fact that you submit your audition or you go in person. Right now it's all self-tapes, but you have to let it go after. You have to be like, I did my best and just put it away. Some people just like literally get rid of their sides, like put them in the garbage and move on. And really what keeps people going is what keeps most actors going is doing something on the side, like writing or producing or doing things like this, like talking to podcasters, like doing a podcast, taking classes and working on your craft. Always just like perseverance is the biggest. It's the winner.
Yeah. I find funny, and I still find it funny that, for example, let's say they're making this film. I don't know. Let's say that they're gonna make this film with Russian characters, right? But guess what? Everybody speaks English in a like they were come out of Stanford. You know what I mean? That the English is spotless. And even though I remember back when I was a kid, for example, with the with the Gladiator or films like that, I can understand that they would put A-list actors, in order to make it interesting to sell it. I can understand that, but I would appreciate that if you're making a movie in that focus in a country, why not looking for people who live there? Actors who can speak that language, so that it can make it more realistic, so you can be like, okay, I get it now, because I do find that like that hilarious, or for example, that in a film or a TV show, whenever they will portray Mexicans, sometimes they will they will be speaking Spanish, and you'll be like, no Mexican speaks like that Spanish. That's impossible. They're not like that. You know what I mean? So I find that funny that that even till this day. I mean, of course that it opened up a little bit, yeah, but we still have this long way, yeah, like this long road to kind of start to focus more on that, because at the same time you can give opportunities to new people. You can give opportunities to actors who either who live there or who speak the language, and to new ones. So
Yeah. Well, at the moment, because we're doing self tapes, right? I haven't had an in-person audition yet. And I feel like I'm gonna because it's not the first time I said it today, and I feel like I'm gonna get one in person. So the universe is like, boom,
yeah,
there you go. But it's because of self tapes, more actors getting opportunities. Right now
absolutely,
there is a bigger pool.
absolutely. Now let's say that one day Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, you name it, they call you and they tell you they have this idea, which goes that all of the characters you have played at the moment, they're all gonna gather to celebrate your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But the film needs a name, so how would you call it?
Maybe like Badassery or something like that.
Okay, I'll take it.
But also, I would maybe call it my dead husband or something like that. Every single role I had in the last 3 months was something about my dead husband. So it would be just funny to kind of see it every single, like, in my theater, in my acting classes, in the TV show. I mean, yeah. It's just kind of funny. It's an interesting tendency here.
Interesting. Okay, I'll take it. Now, what about describing your whole career, but on a drink? How would you call it, and what would it have?
Ooh, interesting. Honestly, it's like a like alphabet soup or something.
Okay.
It's very colorful. I'm grateful, and I got to, in the last, even like in the last year, really, I got to explore a lot of different characters.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like something like very, I see like red, orange, yellow colors, maybe with some blue, like very
Okay.
something
And
like that.
and we're gonna call it the alphabet soup.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what. One day I'm gonna make an alphabet soup. We'll see what happens. We're gonna mix a lot of stuff and see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what motivates you? We all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable. It happens to all of us. So how you manage to get out of those toxic thoughts and to be back again on this road that you have built for so many years now?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we do all fall into this trap, right?
Yep.
I think for me, it's like kind of always remembering that one positive thought in the morning can change your whole day, right? So I tend to start my mornings with like gratitude. So I just say like 5 things I'm grateful for, and that immediately puts me in a good mood, makes me also like remember that I'm surrounded by very creative and supportive people. Also makes me feel like I've accomplished something by the age of 25. Yes, so it just kind of sometimes we forget what we've accomplished. So it's a good thing for someone to remind you. Usually it's my mom. She always reminds me of my accomplishments, but it's different. You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You have to know that you're worth it and you're enough. That's like the most important thing, and that you're still keeping your work up. You're not giving up is too easy.
Yeah, of course.
That's what you have to remember. And it's very hard to like persevere, you know,
Mm.
through like trials and tribulations. So, and there's a lot of those in this industry, especially. But the most important thing is to have fun. You know, if any actor stops having fun, like, why are you even doing it? You know, you have to bring that. You have to make it your own. You have to make it childish. You have to, you know, connect to your source of energy. And I was reading this book, actually. It's called You're a Badass. That word is just like the topic of this conversation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a great book. It talks about high vibrations, you know, and I mean, yeah, how do you always stay in that positive energy, right?
Yeah.
But that positive energy can bring you a lot, you know, because if you're vibrating high, if you're really passionate about something, if you're, you know, giving it your all, the universe will, you know, it feels it, you know, it brings you people that you need, it brings you opportunities that you need. It just like, you know, it's the law of attraction. It does work. It does. After during COVID, I was in Russia actually, and like visiting my family, and then I try to go every year for Christmas, and then I stayed there for like 5 months, and I realized, wow, I haven't been home in for such a long time. You know, I usually come there for 2 weeks and stuff, and then when I left, I was so charged. I was just like so motivated to do something. Also, like, you know, because my mom, she gives me a lot of motivation, but it's also like being in my country, you know, talking to my people, and just like the energy from, I guess, you know, the motherland, although it's not really. I was born in Ukraine. So
Yeah, I understand.
but you know, that kind of like positive energy really charged me. And when I came here, I you know, I found an agent right away. I found a job. I just started doing a lot of projects, like, and working on projects, on my friends' projects, and just like auditioning, and things started happening, you know. And when that energy dies off a little bit, or like, you know, I can feel it, because I'm like, okay, nothing is coming, you know. So I have to recharge again, and that's like, it's like a process, but you have to trust your body, your mind, and trust that you already know enough, you know, you are enough. So
Yeah. Okay. Badass level 10. I love it. Now, what can we expect from you in the future?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, you can definitely expect that I'm gonna be working on acting just as hard. And I'm gonna book my feature film, my first feature film. I'm gonna be recurring on a TV show, and those are my, you know, my goals. I really wanna push forward my career, and yeah. So I see on the big screen, I guess. I don't know, right?
I love it. I
What
love it.
else?
I love it. And my last question here is, if you could describe this episode, how could we call it?
Oh, we're definitely gonna call it a badass.
So, because this is gonna be the title for the YouTube one.
Oh yeah.
Badass? Okay, I'll stick with badass.
She's like, that will definitely catch an eye.
There you go. So the title's gonna be badass. Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
I mean, at the end, what can I say? Wow. I mean, I'm impressed. It's incredible. It's amazing. I mean, such a journey here. I mean, you basically left. Yeah, you left home to a new country. You know, new friends, new experiences, new language too, new culture, everything new, and you managed to make it happen. You know, I mean, of course, there's this huge amount of work that you're gonna reach one day. And I'm super sure that our next conversation is gonna be about the multiple thousands projects you've been in, because as I said, I mean, it takes courage. You know, it takes really, yeah, like really courage to do that type of stuff. But hey, you're making it happen. You are showing everyone that dreams can come true. That it doesn't matter where you're from, that you can make it happen, and that's incredible. I mean, yeah, that's why it's badass. So
Yeah, thank you. I do believe dreams do come true. You know, I was, you know, that TV show Smallville, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah, I was when I was a kid, I was watching it, and I had a crush on Tom Wellington.
yeah, of course. Okay,
You know, and then
Yeah.
I googled, and I'm like, oh, he's from Vancouver. I don't know why at that time Wikipedia said he was from Vancouver, but I was like, I was in grade 5 in Russia, actually in Siberia. I lived at that time, and I was like, I don't know, like I really want to go there, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. And you know, a few like 10 years later, you know, or like 15 years later, it happened. So
yeah, it's amazing.
But like obviously dreaming is a great thing, but having a goal and really manifesting it is like that's what every actor, I feel like, should do. But never give up on your dreams, for sure, because and believe that you can manifest it.
There you go.
Yeah.
As I said before, it's incredible. Keep doing what you do. It's legendary here. I mean, it's not badass, it's legendary. Just keep doing it, because you are doing an incredible, amazing work. I also want to thank those who watched this. Thank you so much. Since this episode is about to be over, on the description below, you're gonna find the social media from Snezhana. What you're gonna do now is like, let's follow her. Come on, let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Snezhana, because she's incredible. She's amazing here. And again, thank you so much for making this happen. Have an incredible upcoming weekend. Keep creating, keep doing what you do, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.